She cooked for me with all her love, waited every night for me to come home. But when I sat at the table, I only criticized her food until her smile slowly disappeared forever. I destroyed the most beautiful thing in and I need to tell someone before I lose my mind completely. Her name was Sarah. 3 years together, engaged for 8 months. She had this way of humming while she cooked, this soft little melody that would drift through our apartment, like a promise that everything was going to be okay. Every single night, she'd be there when I got home from work, apron tied around her waist, hair pulled back, stirring something that smelled like heaven. She'd light when she heard my keys in the door. Not just smile, actually light, like I was the best part of her day. And what did I do? I sat down at that table and picked apart everything she made. This sauce is too salty, the chicken's a little dry tonight, didn't make the same thing last week. I can still see her face. The way her expression would shift from excited anticipation to careful attention, nodding like she was taking mental notes. She'd ask what I preferred, how she could make it better next time. She never got defensive. Just absorbed my criticism like a sponge absorbs water. The worst part, she kept trying. Bought cookbooks, watched YouTube videos. Asked my mom for recipes. Every night was another attempt to earn approval I was too selfish and to give. I told I was helping her improve. That constructive feedback was good for a relationship. What a load of garbage. I was tearing down someone who loved me unconditionally, one dinner at a time. The humming stopped first. I didn't even notice until it was gone, and then our kitchen felt like a morgue. She'd cook in silence, set my plate down without meeting my eyes, eat her own food mechanically while I scrolled through my phone. Then came the night that changed everything. I was working late again, third time that week. Sarah texted, "Dinner's ready whenever get home." I replied with a thumbs emoji, couldn't even be bothered to type words. When I finally walked through the door at 9:47 p.m., she was sitting at the table, waiting, her plate untouched, my food covered with foil to keep it warm. She'd been sitting there for over an hour. "Hey," she said, forcing that smile I'd grown so used to. I made favorite beef stroganoff. I looked at the plate she uncovered. It looked perfect. Smelled incredible. She'd clearly spent hours on it. I took one bite and the words just came out. "It's too creamy. And the noodles are overcooked." Sarah didn't nod this time, didn't ask how to fix it. She just stared at me for a long moment. And I watched something in her eyes, actually, like a light being switched off. She stood, walked to the sink, and scraped her entire untouched plate into the garbage disposal. Then mine too, even though I was still eating. "Sarah, what are you doing? I wasn't finished." She turned around and I'd never seen her look at me like that before. Not angry, worse than angry, empty. "I'm done," she said quietly. "I'm so incredibly done." That was 2 weeks ago. She moved out the next morning while I was at work. Took her things, left the ring on the kitchen counter, and disappeared from my like smoke. I haven't eaten a home-cooked meal since. Can't even look at our dining table without feeling sick. The apartment echoes now. No humming, no warm smells, no one waiting for me to come home. My mom called yesterday. Turns out Sarah had been getting those recipes from her. Mom wanted to know why Sarah was crying when she returned all the cookbooks. She said she wasn't good enough. My mom told me. That sweet girl thought she wasn't good enough because of Puff. I tried to explain, but mom me off. I raised better than this. I'm ashamed of the man I've become. My friends don't get it. They say I'm better off that she was too. That I dodged a bullet. They don't understand that I didn't dodge anything. I away a woman who would have loved me through anything, who made our house a home, who tried every single day to make me happy. The engagement photos are still on our refrigerator. I can't bring to take them down. In every single one, she's looking at me like I'm her whole world. And I'm looking at the camera. I've called her 847 times. Yes, I counted straight to voicemail every time. I've driven by her sister's place, but her car's never there. I wrote letters I'll never send. I've rehearsed apologies to my bathroom mirror until my voice gives out. But I know the truth, some things can't be fixed. Some words can't be taken back. Some love once killed, stays dead. Sarah deserves someone who would taste her cooking and tell her it was amazing just because she made it with love. Someone who would come home excited to see what she created. Someone who understood that when love someone, protect their heart, not break it down piece by piece. I wasn't that someone. And now she's gone forever. The worst part isn't the loneliness or the regret or even losing the best person I've ever known. The worst part is knowing that somewhere out there, Sarah still believes she wasn't good enough. When the truth is I was never good enough for her. I thought losing Sarah was rock bottom. I was wrong. Rock bottom has a basement and I'm still falling. It's been 3 weeks since she left. 3 weeks of eating takeout alone, sleeping in an apartment that feels like a tomb, and discovering exactly how many people actually loved her. Spoiler alert everyone. Sarah's sister Emma called me yesterday. First contact from anyone in Sarah's family since the breakup. My heart jumped thinking maybe Sarah wanted to talk, but Emma's voice was ice cold. "I need to understand something." Sarah cried for 6 hours straight when she told us what did to her. 6 hours. Do you know what that looks like? Watching someone love break down because they think they're. I tried to explain that it wasn't like that, but Emma wasn't having it. She told us everything. Every criticism. Every time made her feel small. Every night she stayed Googling how to cook better, because she thought she was failing. Broke her spirit piece by piece and she blamed herself for it. Then Emma said something that's been eating at me. She's not eating. Did know that. The woman who loved cooking for won't even make herself a sandwich. She's lost 12 pounds and looks like a ghost because convinced her that her best wasn't good enough. The line went dead. I sat there holding my phone, staring at our kitchen table, and finally understood what I'd really done. But that was just the beginning. Word travels fast in our circle. Sarah didn't have to tell anyone what happened, they could see it in her face. My buddy Marcus texted me, ran into Sarah at the grocery store. "Dude, what did do to her? She looked like she'd been hit by a truck." Then the group chat went quiet. Not dramatically, just quiet. Plans were made without me. Invitations stopped coming. I didn't realize how much Sarah was the social glue until she was gone and everything fell apart. Last Saturday was Jake's birthday party. Same group we've hung out with for years. I showed like nothing had changed, and the temperature in the room dropped 20 degrees. Jake's girlfriend Lisa pulled me aside. "No, Sarah was supposed to cater this party, right? She was so excited about it. Had planned this whole menu. Then she texted Jake last week and canceled. Said she wasn't cooking anymore. Lisa's voice was shaking with anger. She won't even cook for herself because of. Do understand that. Took away the thing she loved most. I looked around the party. Store bought everything. Pizza boxes. No one was saying it, but everyone was thinking about Sarah's homemade appetizers, her famous brownies, the way she'd fuss over making sure everyone was fed and happy. They weren't just missing her food. They were missing her. My coworker Beth cornered me Monday morning. Heard about and Sarah. That's too bad. But her tone said it wasn't too bad at all. By lunch I realized people at work knew too. Conversation stopped when I walked into the break room. Sarah had worked part-time at our company last year. Everyone remembered her bringing in her cookies, organizing potluck lunches, making the office feel warmer. She was such a sweet girl. I heard someone whisper. I can't imagine what he did to make her leave. The worst part is they don't even know the details. They just know Sarah, and they know me and they've done the math. My mom hasn't called since that conversation about the cookbooks. Dad texted once, mother is very disappointed. We raised better, that's it. Radio silence from the people who brought me into this world. I drove past Sarah's favorite restaurant last night. The one where we had our first date, where I proposed, where she'd order the same pasta dish every time and ask them to make it spicy even though she couldn't handle spice. The owner Giuseppe was outside. He recognized me, walked over to my car. In his broken English he said, "Where is beautiful Sarah? She no come anymore. She always so happy here, always say nice things about." What happened? I couldn't answer. Giuseppe shook his head sadly. She good woman. She have good heart. Very lucky man. I was very lucky. Past tense. The loneliness is suffocating. I ordered groceries online because I can't face going to our usual store where Sarah knew all the employees by name. I can't go to our coffee shop where the barista always made her that complicated drink with extra foam. I can't even drive past the farmer's market where she'd spend Saturday mornings picking out vegetables like she was choosing jewels. This whole city is haunted by her absence. I found her Pinterest account yesterday. Still public, still full of dinner ideas, elaborate recipes, photos of perfect table settings. The last pin was 3 weeks ago, simple pasta for one. The comments from her friends are heartbreaking. Okay honey, missed dinner party invitations. Hope her taking care of pie. She was planning to cook for the rest of our lives. Had boards labeled, holiday menace, anniversary dinners, Sunday family meals. She was already planning meals for children we'd never have, holidays we'll never share. I scroll through photo after photo of elaborate dishes, beautiful presentations, table set with law. Each pin is like a because I know she was thinking of me when she saved it, thinking about making me happy, making our beautiful. And I complained about every single attempt. My therapist, yes, I'm seeing a therapist now. Dr. Rodriguez asked me something last week that I can't stop thinking about. When did last tell Sarah something positive about her cooking? I sat there for 10 minutes trying to remember. 10 full minutes of silence while I searched my memory for one compliment, one thank, one moment of appreciation. I couldn't find one. Dr. Rodriguez nodded like she expected this. So for 3 years this woman cooked for daily, and never once expressed gratitude. I said thanks sometimes. For the food, or for the love she put into it. I didn't have an answer because there wasn't one. The truth is starting to hit me in waves now. Sarah wasn't just cooking meals, she was cooking love. Every dinner was her way of saying I care about, I want to take care of, matter to me. And I responded to that love with criticism, nitpicking and entitled complaints. I rejected her love 1095 times. Every dinner for 3 years was an opportunity to show gratitude, and I chose criticism instead. No wonder she's not eating. I taught her that her expressions of love weren't good enough. I trained her to believe that caring for someone meant failing them. The apartment feels enormous now. Just me and my takeout containers and the echo of everything I'll never get back. Last night I found a note she'd left tucked into one of her cookbooks, the one she forgot to take. It was a shopping list from months ago with little hearts drawn next to my favorite foods. At the bottom she'd written, "Don't forget extra garlic for my love." I cried until my chest. Actual sobbing, the kind that leaves empty and raw. She called me her love on a grocery list I was never supposed to see. And I told her the garlic was too strong. 6 weeks. It's been 6 weeks since Sarah walked out of my. And I finally understand that some things can't be undone. Some words can't be unspoken. And some hearts, once broken, never heal the same way. I saw her today at the farmer's market. Our farmer's market. The one where she used to spend Saturday mornings like a kid in a candy store, talking to vendors about seasonal vegetables and asking for cooking tips. She was standing at the pasta booth, the one run by that Italian family who always remembered her name. But she wasn't the Sarah I knew. She was a shadow wearing Sarah's face. She'd lost more weight. Her clothes hung loose, her face was gaunt and her eyes, God, her eyes looked hollow, empty. The light I'd spent 3 years slowly dimming was completely gone. I watched from across the market as Mrs. Antonelli, the pasta vendor, took Sarah's hands and spoke to her in rapid Italian mixed with English. I couldn't hear the words but I could see the concern. Sarah just nodded politely, bought a single serving of ravioli and turned to leave. That's when she saw me. For a split second, something flickered in her eyes. Not love, not anger, not even recognition maybe. Like seeing a stranger who looked familiar. Then nothing. She walked past me like I was furniture, invisible. Irrelevant. I called her name. She stopped, turned around with the patience of someone humoring a persistent salesperson. "Sarah, please, can we just talk?" Her voice, when it came, was different, flat. "What would like to discuss?" Not, "What do you want to talk about?" or, "I don't think that's a good idea." Clinical, detached, like I was a customer asking about return policies. I miss us. "I know I messed, but we can fix this. I can change." She tilted her head slightly, studying me like I was a puzzle she couldn't quite solve. "Fix what exactly?" "Everything. The way I treated, the things I said. I know I was horrible about the cooking thing, but I was stressed from work and the cooking thing." She repeated my words slowly, like she was tasting them. "Is that what think this was about?" I stumbled over my words, suddenly aware that I was saying everything wrong. "I mean, I know it wasn't just that, but if could just give me another chance." "Do you remember?" She interrupted quietly. "The last meal I cooked for." Of course I remembered. Beef stroganoff, too creamy. Overcooked noodles. "I spent 4 hours on that recipe," she continued. 4 hours. I called mother for her secret ingredient. I watched 3 different YouTube videos. I made the noodles from scratch cause once mentioned preferred fresh pasta. Her voice never changed pitch, never got emotional. She was just stating facts. I tasted it 6 times to make sure the seasoning was perfect. I set the table with the good plates because it was the anniversary of our first date 3 years ago. I waited for an hour and 17 minutes because I thought forgotten, but I didn't want to text and seem needy. I felt sick. Sarah, I didn't know. When walked in and told me it was too creamy, do you know what I thought? I couldn't speak. I thought about every meal I'd made, every single dinner for 3 years, and I realized that in all that time, never once said thank, not once. Not even when I was sick and still cooked for. Not even on birthday when I made that complicated prime rib wanted. She paused, looking at me like she was seeing me clearly for the first time. I spent 3 years trying to earn something we're never going to give me. Basic respect, simple appreciation, the bare minimum courtesied show a stranger. I did appreciate, I said desperately, I'm not good at expressing it, expressed very clearly, every single night. A couple walked by laughing about something, and Sarah watched them with an expression I couldn't read. I haven't cooked since I left, she said matter-of-factly. Can't seem to find the point in it anymore. Funny how can love something whole and then just not. My chest felt like it was caving in. Sarah, please, I love. I know I didn't show it right, but I do love. She looked at me for a long moment, and for just a second I thought I saw something familiar flash across her face. But then it was gone. I know think do. But love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice. Every day, every moment, every interaction. And for 3 years, chose to make me smaller and celebrating me. Chose criticism over kindness. Chose to take instead of give. She shifted her bag to her other shoulder. I don't know. But I also don't love anymore. I can't. Killed that part of me Sozlu was dying until it was already gone. But I can change. I said, hearing how pathetic I sounded. I'm in therapy. I understand now what I did wrong. Good, maybe won't do this to someone else. She started to walk away then stopped. Can I ask something? At night with the stroganoff. After criticized it did finish eating it. I thought back. Note away. Before that, while we're eating, how did it taste? The truth hit me like a punch to the gut. It was delicious. It was actually perfect. She smiled then, but it wasn't warm. It was sad and knowing and final. I know. I could see it in face when took the first bite. Looked surprised, like we're ready to complain and couldn't find anything wrong. But criticized it anyway. She was right. I remembered now. The stroganoff had been incredible. Restaurant quality, I'd been genuinely impressed. But the criticism had become such a habit that I'd done it automatically. Why, she asked. Why say it was bad when knew it was good? I opened my mouth but no words came out. Because I didn't have an answer. There was no answer except that I'd been cruel for no reason at all. That's what I thought. She said softly, goodbye. This time when she walked away I didn't follow. I stood there in the middle of the farmer's market, surrounded by the vendors who knew us as a couple, watching the love of mine disappear into the crowd like smoke. Mrs. Antonelli appeared beside me shaking her head. That girl, she used to light this whole market. Always happy, always asking about my family, always buying extra to share with neighbors. Now look at her. She fixed me with a stern look. My grandmother, she used to say, the way treat someone's cooking is the way treat their heart. Understand? I understood. Too late, but I understood. I drove home to my empty apartment, ordered Chinese takeout, and ate it alone at the table where Sarah used to wait for me every night. The food tasted like cardboard, but then again everything does now. I found looking through old photos on my phone. 3 years of pictures, and in every single one where we're eating together, Sarah's looking at me with such hope, such love, such genuine desire to make me happy, and in every single one I'm looking at my phone. Dr. Rodriguez was right. I didn't just break Sarah's heart. I slowly, methodically, destroyed her ability to express love through the thing she was most passionate about. I turned her greatest joy into her deepest insecurity. The worst part isn't that she doesn't love me anymore. The worst part is that she doesn't love cooking anymore either. I didn't just lose a relationship. I killed something beautiful in another human being. There's no happy ending here. No redemption arc. No moment where I win her back with a grand gesture. This is real, and in real some things can't be fixed. Sarah will probably never cook with joy again. She'll always remember that the person she loved most in the world took her purest expression of love, and it back in her face for 3 straight years. And I'll spend the rest of mine knowing that I had everything and destroyed it with my own hands. To anyone reading this, if someone cooks for, thank them. If someone loves enough to spend hours creating something just to make smile, treasure that. Don't pick it apart. Don't take it for granted. Don't assume it will always be there. Because someday you'll be sitting alone eating takeout, and you'll remember the taste of love. And you'll realize can never go back to that table where someone waited for every night with food made from pure devotion.